Morning. I am Marlene Merrill, and I'm with the League of Women Voters. This is a 98-year-old nonpartisan organization dedicated to voter registration, voter education, and voter participation in the elections of your city, your county, school board, state, and national representatives. My fellow volunteers have passed out the voter registration applications. Please print your information. After the ceremony, you may check the box yes when asked, are you a U.S. citizen? Sign and return your application to a volunteer. We're outside on either side of the doorway. We will check your form for accuracy and submit it to your county election official. You will receive your voter registration card in the mail in about 2 to 3 weeks. You will be eligible to vote in the November 6th, 2018 general election. Please ask any of our volunteers any questions you have regarding registration. If you make a mistake on your form, we can give you either a new one to complete or you can just initial the change. On behalf of the League of Women Voters, welcome to the United States and the benefits and responsibilities of U.S. citizenship. We are glad you're here. Thank you.
All rise. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The United States District Court for the District of Kansas is now in session. The Honorable John W. Lundstrom presiding. All ye having business before this court, draw nigh and be heard. God save these United States and this honorable court.
Thank you. You may be seated. The court is convened today in special session to conduct naturalization proceedings for those persons who desire to become and have shown themselves to be qualified to become new citizens of the United States. My name is John Lundstrom. I am one of the judges of the United States District Court for the District of Kansas. I live here in Lawrence, Kansas, but I usually sit in Kansas City, Kansas, sometimes in Topeka and Wichita, where we also have courthouses. Let me welcome all of the friends and relatives who've come to share this occasion with our new citizens. I know this is a special day in your lives, and it's a very special day for all of us to have you with us as well as our new citizens. Seated with me today is our guest speaker, Nancy Thellman, whom I will formally introduce to you later. You may be interested to know that new citizens today follow very much the same road to citizenship which has been taken by those who have come before them for more than 2 centuries. Since 1790, when the first naturalization law was passed by Congress, there has always been some sort of judicial proceeding in court or in a room that is a court for the day at least, as a part of the naturalization process. We are delighted to take part and to help make this a special event in all of your lives. Frankly, as a judge, this is the best thing I get to do. Part of it is because it's wonderful to welcome all of you as new citizens, and another reason because there are very few things that a judge gets to do where everybody goes away happy when it's over. So it's a wonderful pleasure for me to get to be here today. Since 2003, the court has been pleased to hold a naturalization ceremony here on the campus of the University of Kansas at the Dole Institute of Politics. I thank Bill Lacey and his staff for their generosity in allowing us to have this wonderful facility for this purpose. Traditionally, a representative of the University of Kansas has participated, and today it is my pleasure to introduce Vice Provost for Student Affairs, Tamara Durham. If you would like to welcome folks to the campus of the University of Kansas, we'd be delighted to be welcomed.
Good morning. This is an exciting day. Let's try that again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Much better. And what, we could not have ordered a better day for such a wonderful, wonderful ceremony. And as the judge said, I have one job, so I've got to get it right. So here we go. Welcome.
Thank you.
It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to the University of Kansas on this momentous day, and to especially congratulate you on becoming U.S. citizens. As an international research university that provides and receives benefits from worldwide relationships, our students, faculty, and staff come from more than 110 countries. Our academic, research, and creative endeavors take students, faculty, and staff all over the world. The results of our scholarship have global impact. So it's quite fitting that you are on our campus for this very important ceremony. As you know, there are many rights of citizenship, and the process you've gone through is difficult. In addition to rights, citizens also have responsibilities to uphold. And these responsibilities are part of it being an active member of our community. KU is committed to helping all citizens be engaged citizens. On any given day, we host public programs that help students and others better understand and appreciate their community, their region, their state, and the nation. And the building we're in now, the Dole Institute of Politics, is a great example of how we strive to uphold that mission. Please do take full advantage of the many programs offered both here at the Dole and across the university. Today, you remind us of the precious gift American citizenship and democracy are. And you honor us through your commitment to becoming American citizens. It is my extreme delight to be here as you take the oath. And I know I speak on behalf of everyone when I say, we are indeed privileged to have you join us as fellow citizens in our continuing efforts to form a more perfect union. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Durham. We appreciate your official welcome on behalf of the University of Kansas, and again express our appreciation for being able to be here on the campus of the University of Kansas for this purpose. Again, it's particularly nice for me because I live a few blocks away, so it's a good commute for this particular purpose. But thank you very much. The court holds a September naturalization ceremony with a particular focus in mind, and that is to recognize Constitution Day. As you may have noticed in your program, September 17th, 1787 is the date that 39 of the 55 founding fathers signed the Constitution. That's sort of the birthday of the Constitution. And in 2004, then President George W. Bush signed a bill that created September 17th as Constitution Day to be recognized annually. Now we're a week or so past that, but nonetheless, this ceremony is partly, at least, in recognition of Constitution Day. And I think as Americans, we all are and should be proud of our Constitution. And there are many reasons why it is very appropriate that we honor it, and that a particular day has been set aside for that purpose. I would like to mention one aspect of that today, which sometimes does not receive very much public attention. The United States is one of the few countries in the world that has a judicial branch that is independent of the rest of the government. Our judges are bound to follow the law and their own consciences, but are not controlled by a king, a president, or a parliament. Once a federal judge is appointed and confirmed, he or she is part of a separate branch of government established by Article 3 of the Constitution. This does not mean that judges should be arrogant or set themselves up as petty tyrants. The checks and balances of our constitutional system guard against that. Judges are accountable, but they do not and should not decide cases for personal gain or to win favor or to follow the orders of the party or person who appointed them. In this respect, our judicial system is the envy of the world. I am proud and humbled to be a part of that system and to honor today the Constitution which created it. I hope that you will reflect on the importance of an independent judiciary yourselves, decide that it is a source of pride for you and something that should be an important priority in maintaining that independent judiciary. Well, with that, I'd like to call on David Rempel to give us a vocal selection. Dave is not only an accomplished vocalist, he's also a distinguished law graduate of the University of Kansas, undergraduate at Yale College, and more importantly, he is one of the people who works in my chambers. His title is a law clerk. It means he is one of the people who gives me legal advice when I have to decide legal questions, and he does that just as well as he sings. So, Dave, now we'll see how well that is. Please proceed.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet, whose stern impassioned stress a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law.
Thank you, Dave. I think you have established that you provide me excellent legal advice as well. You know, that song is so appropriate for this proceeding. Obviously, it celebrates the beauty of our country. It celebrates the traditions of our country. It recognizes that we're not perfect. God, mend thine every flaw. It speaks in terms of the importance of liberty and law. These are all principles that I think are deeply embedded in what we are doing here today and why we are here today. So that is I think, particularly appropriate song to be sung at this occasion. Now, for the introduction of our new citizens, I would like to call upon the Naturalization Examiner, Officer Micah Mahaney of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. You may proceed.
Good morning. It's my honor and privilege to introduce 62 applicants for United States citizenship. These applicants come from 25 different countries. They have met the formal requirements imposed by law for United States citizenship. Upon taking the oath of allegiance, each will have the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities of U.S. citizenship. As I call your names, please stand and say the country from which you come. Malone Peter Ochanda from Kenya. Jai Kwem Lee,
I'm from South Korea.
South Korea. Fernando Restrepo,
Colombia.
Colombia. Marisol Hurtado Restrepo
From Colombia.
from Colombia. Jacob Gao, Indonesia. Kelly Mariela Ruby Hernandez,
Honduras.
Honduras. Julia Elmore
Brazil.
from Brazil. Michael Kenneth Bernays Macale,
Philippines.
Republic of the Philippines. Chinoyurem Christopher Ejimofor
From Nigeria.
from Nigeria. Ofladun Adepele Oloko from Nigeria. Heidi Hexia Lu from China. Jorge Luis Calderon,
From Peru.
Peru. Hadir Kanan Af
From Iraq.
from Iraq. Shuichiro Tusaka
Japan.
from Japan. No David Escalante Mange,
El Salvador.
El Salvador. Parth Jayantalal Patel
India.
from India. Frederick John Sarita Desamparado,
Philippines.
Philippines. Vania Zeltsin Espinoza Avila from Mexico. Sheldon Duke McCorden
From Jamaica.
from Jamaica. Dambe Asiasini Diabane
From Togo.
from Togo. Martin Podgitier
From South Africa.
from South Africa. Bilkisu Ayimi Asuku,
From Nigeria.
Nigeria. Renee Bermudez Luna,
Mexico.
Mexico. Nicholas Cardenas Banuelos
Mexico.
from Mexico. Deqiang Chen
China.
from China. Pablo Guadalupe Enriquez
From Mexico.
from Mexico. Samuel Rojas Reyes,
Mexico.
Mexico. Ria Gail Tungpalan Lewis from the Philippines. Michael Warungi
Kenya.
from Kenya. John Fitzroy Gooden,
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Andrea Carolina Oliveras Lugo,
Venezuela.
Venezuela. Lalitha Pederetti
India.
from India. Annie Alano Miller, Philippines. Sanjay Sanachar,
Guyana.
Guyana. Unju Pets,
South Korea.
South Korea. Ma Sui from Burma. Satish Ram,
India.
India. Yumaru Mohammed Sharif
Guinea.
from Guinea. Kavita Devi Sanachar
Guyana.
from Guyana. Francis Sivo
From Ghana.
from Ghana. Jason Fernandez White,
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Aline Zulueta Kumar,
From the Philippines.
Philippines. Joel Anthony Simon Jr.,
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Arnaldo Manuel Ayala
Mexico.
from Mexico. Anai Castillo Aldape
Mexico.
from Mexico. Kevin Dale Casilla Singh, Philippines. Charan Kumar Ganta
India.
from India. Robert Van Sweelian
Burma.
from Burma. Zonghui Pan,
China.
China. Hannah San Pedro Paras,
From Philippines.
Philippines. Azadeh Hagashanas,
Iran.
Iran. Luis Gerardo Garcia
From Mexico.
from Mexico. Ana Yvette Palacios, El Salvador. Eric Rios Martinez, Mexico. Silvano Antonio Gonzalez, El Salvador. Rosemary Lasmana, Indonesia. Fiona Deshmay Sewell Black, Jamaica. Myrna Leticia Ayala, Mexico. Simon Gomez Meza,
Mexico.
Mexico. Yumi Tham Mills, Vietnam. Evelyn De Leon Han, from the Philippines. And this, Your Honor, is our class of applicants for this morning. At this time, the government moves that the oath of allegiance be administered to the prospective citizens of the United States and that all petitions for change of name be granted.
Thank you. That motion is and hereby shall be granted. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to take the oath of allegiance to the United States. This oath has two parts. In the first part, you will renounce your allegiance and fidelity to any foreign country, state, or sovereignty. After the oath, you will then owe all of your allegiance to the United States. In the second part of the oath, you will swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. In taking this oath, you should be aware, and I know that you are aware, of the many freedoms and rights those who first established this country and those who have come after them wanted so desperately when they came to America. In fact, these were summed up in the Declaration of Independence and became the framework of the Constitution and its first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. Because we are persuaded that you agree with the principles expressed in the Constitution and that you will keep your oath to support and defend that great instrument, we are about to bestow on you the same privileges as native-born Americans. With these thoughts in mind, you will now take the oath of a new citizen, which will be administered by Deputy Clerk of Court Sharon Shire. Ms. Shire?
Will you all please stand, raise your right hand, and then you'll repeat after me, please. I, and then state your name. Hereby declare on oath. That I absolutely and entirely. Renounce and abjure. All allegiance. To any foreign prince. Potentate. State or sovereignty. Of whom or which. I have heretofore been. A subject or citizen. That I will support and defend. The Constitution and laws. Of the United States of America. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. That I will bear arms. On behalf of the United States. When required by law. That I will perform. Non-combatant service. In the armed forces of the United States. When required by law. That I will perform work. Of national importance. Under civilian direction. When required by law. And that I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
You may be seated. And now it is my good fortune to be the first to congratulate you as new citizens of these United States. You know, I'm always struck by a number of things, and it's no different this morning than typically is the case, but by the number of different countries from which people come, the broad expanse across the age brackets of people that are here. There are folks might be in their 20s up to folks who are closer in age to myself, and I think that's wonderful. And I'm also struck by the number of people in uniform here who have been participating in the armed services of the United States even before becoming citizens. All of those things are part of what makes being a presiding officer over a ceremony like this such a wonderful and great thing. I know you are aware that your predecessors brought their talents and their energies and their hopes and their dreams just like you have. And through dedication and adherence to the same obligations and responsibilities expressed in the oath of allegiance that you've taken, they helped mold this country into a land of freedom and liberty. You now join the citizens of this country, and through our combined efforts, I trust we might make it an even better place in which to live. In Dr. Durham's words, a more perfect union. We salute you and we wish you well. Well, we are now pleased and honored to have with us today as our guest speaker, Nancy Thellman, Chair of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners, the governing body of Douglas County, of which the city of Lawrence is the county seat. Nancy lives on a small farm north of Lawrence with her husband and 3 children. She was educated in Lawrence Public Schools, holds a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing from the University of Kansas, and a Master of Divinity degree from Vanderbilt University. Commissioner Thellman is one of our community's most outstanding leaders, and I'm proud to call her a friend. Commissioner Thellman?
I don't really know that any more needs to be said. When you stood up and told us where you're from and then just took your oath, I'm done. That was, thank you for that. So hello, fellow citizens. I'm honored, really honored, to stand here before you to share a few thoughts on this, the very first day, and even actually the very first hour of your citizenship in the United States of America. You have my heartfelt congratulations. I will never know all the various paths that brought you to this day, but what I can imagine all too clearly is that for some of you, the path to citizenship and to this day has been difficult, maybe even perilous. Some of you come here with full and happy hearts. Others' hearts may still be broken over what's been left behind. Most of us will never know what you've been through. But whether your path here was easy or whether it was the hardest trek of your life, nonetheless, here you are, newly minted American citizens, the oath of allegiance still fresh on your tongues. You deserve not just my congratulations, but everyone's, for having the tenacity and even great personal courage to make it to this day. Hopefully none the worse for the wear. So you do have my congratulations and you have my admiration, and you're about to have my personal confession. I'm embarrassed to confess to you that until a few short days ago, I really didn't know what we would be doing this morning at this ceremony. Like most Americans, I confess I've been ignorant of the process that gets you to this day. What does it actually take to become an American citizen if you're not one on the day you're born? When, I wondered, was the exact moment that you become a citizen. So like any good uninformed American, I went online and I learned about the long, hard process that brought you to this moment. And I have to tell you, I stand in awe of your singular determination. The process you've been through is not for the faint of heart. I am in awe also for my country, now your country, that makes such citizenship both possible and profoundly desirable. I read with special interest that the exact moment you gain your citizenship is the moment you say your oath of allegiance to the United States of America. That spoken oath, the online instructions say, ends your process for citizenship. And all I can say about that is your process may be over, but your work has just begun. Most of us take it for granted, but being a citizen of the United States is work, or at least it should be. The lifelong work of a U.S. citizen, now your work, is to live your life as though our Constitution matters, not just for the sake of your own life, but for the common life and the common good of your nation. It is a citizen's real work, your work now, to live as though freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, the right to assemble, the right to petition, the right to bear arms, the right to vote matter. All of these and more are now your freedoms, your rights, your civic responsibilities. And as you can see on the daily news, these rights and responsibilities bring much joy and much headache to life all at once. These rights and freedoms are all outlined in our Constitution, and that's the rule book that holds us together. Every citizen, not just new citizens, should know these rights, study these rights. Every citizen, not just new citizens, should work hard to truly understand these rights. Not only should we learn to appreciate our constitutional rights and freedoms, but we should embrace them, exercise them, protect them, and cherish them, for our very democracy depends on it. These rights, some of which make us unique in the world, these freedoms, some of them which make us the envy of the world, these rights and freedoms ordained and enshrined by our United States Constitution, they are our national treasure, and we take them for granted at our peril. Suffice it to say, it is hard work being a good citizen, a steward of American democracy. And what makes being a good citizen even harder right now is this remarkable season of rancor we're in, political and otherwise. Thankfully, our Constitution provides a lot of ways for us to disagree with each other, and we see those playing out almost every day now in the form of petitions and protests and meetings and vigils and marches and rallies and sit-ins and disruptions, both planned and unplanned. And while unnerving as it is to witness every day on the news, these are actually healthy signs of a democracy at work, signs that citizens are living out their lives as though our Constitution matters. And that's hard but important work. And then there's the work of elections, learning the issues, registering to vote, taking the best information you can get, and then making up your own mind and making it count at the ballot box. That is a truly golden American moment, and as new citizens, that is now your right and your responsibility. As I understand it, because I read it online, before you leave today, you'll have the opportunity to register to vote in your first American election, which, and you can't miss it, is just around the corner. So here's the challenge I want to leave with you, my new fellow citizens. A challenge that is all of ours and no doubt will be some of the hardest work we ever do together. Our challenge now is to figure out how to talk again and be again with other citizens with whom we disagree, sometimes all too vehemently. For some, the default answer to that challenge is simple: just talk faster, talk louder. We do that and then we wonder why nobody hears us. The answer to this challenge is, I think, just the opposite. My favorite professor in seminary, the late Reverend William Sloane Coffin Jr., taught me so. Reverend Coffin was a world-class preacher who spoke all over the world about hard issues: war, racism, hatred, bigotry, corruption, all of these sins in his line of work. And people all around the world listened to him, even though he spoke hard words. They listened to him, not because he was shouting. They listened to him intently, I think because he wasn't shouting. Reverend Coffin offered my class of wannabe preachers this advice, and I wrote it down almost 30 years ago, and I've never forgotten it since. He said to us, "When you must say something that is both true and painful, say it softly. Say it to heal and not to hurt." Imagine how the tenor of our current national conversations would change if what came out of our mouths was first measured by this standard. Imagine if our leaders did the same. When you have something to say that is both true and painful, say it softly. Say it to heal, not to hurt. That singular adjustment toward humility over hubris, toward hush over howl, would surely make for a more civil society, a better nation, and yes, a more perfect union. And while that simple shift in tone might not get us to world peace, it might get us to the end of a surprisingly good conversation in peace. Peace with our neighbors, peace with our family, peace with our friends, and maybe even peace with those whom we call strangers in our midst. So that's what I have to offer you today, a simple suggestion as you add your voices to this great American conversation. If you must say something that is both true and painful, say it softly. Say it to heal, not to hurt. Don't get me wrong, for the sake of our democracy, be loud if you must. Shout from the rooftops if you must. But know that sometimes, even when there's noise all around, and especially when there's noise all around, sometimes it is the soft voice that is the easiest to hear. So I'll wrap this up, since I'm sure you're anxious to move on from ceremony to celebration. I started all this off by offering you my heartfelt congratulations, but that doesn't really seem sufficient, since congratulations only last a minute. What I really want to say to you is welcome, because a welcome lasts a lifetime. Welcome to you, and welcome you are in this place, in this city, in this state, in this nation, now yours. Not only are you welcome here, but you are wanted. And not only are you wanted here, but you are needed. No longer immigrants or refugees or strangers in a foreign land. You are citizens at home. Welcome, fellow citizens, my new American friends. Welcome. I wish you all the best.
Nancy, thank you very much. Those were not only very appropriate words, but excellent advice for all of us. And I appreciate your taking the time to have made such thoughtful words come forth in this particular occasion. There are representatives here today of several organizations who are going to give you some mementos of today, and if you stay in your seats when we're finished, some of that will be taken care of. There are some names set out at the back of your program that indicate some of the people who've helped put this all together and who are providing some of these things for you. And as Commissioner Thellman indicated, don't forget to register to vote with the League of Women Voters. I don't care how you vote, but vote, register, participate. That is one of the most important aspects of being a citizen. Of course, serving on a jury I think is fairly important too, but for your purposes, I hope voting is the first thing you get to do. And so please take that opportunity. With that then, I'd like to now call upon the Sons of the American Revolution to present the colors and to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone please rise.
Left face. Present colors. Please join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, Dave Rempel to lead us in the Star Spangled Banner.
I would invite anyone to join in if you are moved to do so. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Soldier first. Left face. Forward point.
You may be seated. Once again, I would like to congratulate you and join with Commissioner Thellman in welcoming you and with Dr. Durham in welcoming you on this great occasion. May your new status as citizens bring you the joy and happiness it has brought to those who have taken this momentous step before you. Remember, of course, that with these rights and privileges now bestowed upon you as citizens, go responsibilities, which all of us trust you will accept and discharge with courage and fidelity to what is now our country, the United States of America. The court is now adjourned.